Hello, everyone, and welcome to our US Open wrap up, our bonus episode of Tennis Weekly following our US Open round by round coverage and a little bit of daily coverage as well towards the end of the tournament. So make sure if you haven't had a chance, do listen to our round by round coverage, all of our episodes. Make sure you're up to date on all the things that have happened with the US Open over the last couple of weeks. But this episode, right here, right now, we're going to be wrapping up our own personal experience of Flushing Meadows, what we have lived through on social media, through the news stories, whatever it is, whatever has caught our attention, we are going to be bringing into the fold in this episode. So what you can expect over the next, I don't know how long, we'll see how it goes, but we're going to be talking about our high moments, our low moments, and our surprising moments of the tournament, as well as bringing back our patented Peak Pit Pleasant Surprise scorecard that we introduced, or we've been using for a while now, but we had this for Wimbledon. We're bringing it back for New York and the US Open to give our overall reflections. And guys, this is quite a special episode because I don't know how it's going to go, truthfully, because we are all in different time zones.
Yeah, and I feel like I've got the short straw. I'm just in the UK. You're both abroad sunning yourselves, which I'm
I mean,
very
I'm
jealous
looking
about.
for Jaume Munar. Kim, update, haven't found him yet.
Oh,
Joel, is there
gutting.
Yeah,
Stefanos Tsitsipas anywhere to be
no,
found in Greece?
have not found Stefanos, have not found Petros, have not found Maria Sakkari. Um, but yes, I am in Greece. Chris is in Spain. Kim, surprisingly, you're the one who's normally traveling. You're in the UK.
I am. But I've made a lovely, well, I didn't make it. My partner made a lovely lasagna. So
You
trying
feel like you're
to,
in Italy.
evoke like Italian vibes as we running up to recording this. Feel like I'm somewhere else. But no, very excited to look back on the 2 weeks that were the US Open because there's lots happened and lots to go through. And I think some really fun things happened and some, yeah, very surprising and also not so nice things. So let's get our teeth into it. We're going to go through category by category, and I'm going to ask you both what you think. So we'll start with our tournament reflections, and then we'll get on to personal peak pit and pleasant surprise. Listeners, we'd love to know what yours are. So have a listen to us, and then do let us know on social media what you think, and whether you agree with us or whether we've perhaps missed something completely. So I'm going to start with best match of the tournament, and this is across all the draws. For me, I'm going to start. I think for me it was Barbora Krejčíková against Taylor Townsend. The fact that Krejčíková won, saving 8 match points in that fourth round, that was pretty epic. I think for me, that takes some topping. I don't know if either of you have a contender to match that. Joel,
Oh,
I'm going to
well,
come
I've
to
got
you
Kim.
first.
I've got two contenders. And I actually don't think that was Krejčíkova's best match. I think Barbora Krejčíková versus Emma Navarro is one of my contenders for best match of the tournament. I mean, the fact that she was 3-love down in that third set against Navarro, who was in the semi-finals here last year. Again, another sterling comeback performance, and one for me to kind of call out. The other one I'm going to call out, maybe not best match in terms of kind of quality, but in terms of kind of like just test that I wasn't really expecting. Susan Lamens versus Iga Swiatek. I don't think anyone was really expecting this to go 3 sets. I thought the bakery was going to be open. We're going to be done in like 45 minutes. But this turned into a pretty stern examination of Swiatek. And it was another match I really, really enjoyed. So those are my two candidates. But I'm not going to lie, it is hard to usurp Krejčíková Townsend. Chris, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I remember that Kim did think that it might be a couple more bakery items in that lemons match when we were first looking at it from the preview perspective. So she definitely surpassed our expectations. But I'm surprised both of you had the nerve to bring up Krejčíková at this stage because you had her going out in round one to Mboko, didn't you?
I
That's
know
very
Mboko
bold.
was a bad
we need to
prediction
see
from me.
we need to sweep that under the
I
covers.
thought that was going to be your biggest upset, but
I mean, one thing I will say though, I'm almost kind of sidetracking to Suzanne Lamens because I have already said it's my new goal now as a tennis fan to try and watch a Suzanne Lamens match live just based on the performance against Swiatek.
Well, head to the Ilkley Challenger next year. I'm sure you'll see some good action there. But where would you be able to see her, Joel? Do you think the best chance this year?
I don't know. Billie Jean King Cup?
That's probably a
Get
very
your
good
orange
shout.
on for the Netherlands.
You
Yeah,
have
I
to
can
sneak
see you there,
in
Joel.
as a Dutch press. Well, I went for quite an obvious one that I'm surprised you didn't go for. I went for Osaka and Anisimova because this was very exciting. I also woke up for the conclusion of it, which made it even more exciting. And the fact that I think there was 82 winners hit, which is a pretty phenomenal number. Really great tennis from them both. I mean, Osaka was really playing well, but it was also great to see Anisimova really kind of make her mark and get back into a final. So I thought it was a great match, great contest. It was a long contest, and it was also one that I think could have gone very sideways in terms of the unforced errors camp, but it didn't. It really delivered. So I thought I had to put it best match. But interestingly, we've all gone for women's matches.
We have, which is testament, I think, to how fantastic, the depth of women's tennis is, the excitement that it does generate. And, it's a bit of a two fingers up to those that dismiss women's tennis, I think.
Indeed.
On that note, what about biggest upset of the tournament?
Well, could you give it in Boko? We've already done that.
I mean, you mentioned, Anisimova, Osaka in that match and how, Anisimova, none of us predicted her to go deep in this one. After that disappointing Wimbledon final, I think we all thought, how's she gonna fare? For me, the biggest upset, I went with that Anisimova win over Swiatek because ahead of that, I just was so sure that Swiatek would have her number again. I thought it would be in Anisimova's head so much. The fact that they played in Wimbledon and the result was so one-sided. So for me, the fact that Anisimova came out on top in straights was, I think, one of the biggest surprises of the fortnight. What about you, though, Chris?
Well, I mean, I actually also put Anisimova. I did think that was a huge upset, almost like an upset of almost the reversal, the Una reverse of the tournament. I wanted to call that as a category because we went all the way from that double bagel to that result, and it just seemed like such a big moment, especially given that Swiatek has done so well since then. So I did put that. I also had another American in the mix here, in the form of Madison Keys, because she actually destroyed our collector set from the off. So did not like that. One other we haven't really mentioned, and we didn't mention that much on the podcast at the time, was, Francis Tiafoe going out in the third round to Jan-Lennard Struff. I was like, that is truly wild. Straight sets. Would never have seen that one coming given Tiafoe's form at the US Open on home soil. So I kind of went for all the Americans for this one. But what did you go for, Joel?
I went on a similar vein, and I would also say Anisimova, just because of Osaka's record at Grand Slams post quarterfinals, the fact that she had won a Grand Slam title every time she had passed the quarterfinals, going out to Anisimova again. I think you got to count that as a
different
a big
Anisimova
upset.
match.
A little bit different.
Yeah.
Springing all the upsets in Anisimova.
But
we
also
all
say,
underestimated her, though, didn't we? I think.
We did.
And how strong she was coming back,
and overestimated Madison Keys, because I also had Madison Keys, round 1, Australian Open champion. I was not expecting that at all. So yeah, I've got Madison.
And the
Keys
nerves
as well.
forget to her so much. That's why I also put it as the biggest upset, because round 1, you did not think that would be the time when your nerves are shot. It felt like if you won a slam, you should be fine.
The Zarazua as well. I mean, it's
not a household name.
It does stun you somewhat. Okay, next category, we've got most room for improvement. Chris, I'm going to come to you first on this one. Who do you think really, let themselves down and needs to get on that practice court after this fortnight?
Well, I mean, I think probably on the practice court already, unfortunately. I think it's Coco Gauff and that serve. I think coming into this tournament, she tried to change too much too late. I understand the logic of it. We've talked about it a lot on the podcast. She wasn't really at the races against Naomi Osaka. She was absolutely pounding that forehand of Coco Gauff's and it broke down. The serve was actually quite a lot better than I thought it would be in that match. but there's still work to be done. I mean, since she did win the French Open, it has kind of just been a bit downhill from there. We know how talented she is. It's so strange that she doesn't always kind of put it together and has these sort of technical holes in her game. So I didn't want to go all in though on Coco Gauff, because this is a slightly negative category. So I thought I'd be kind of fair and say the Scandies with Ruud and Rune. I mean, what went on when they went out? They really did not play well. And I think there's a lot of room for improvement, especially kind of heading into reassessing their Grand Slam prospects.
Yeah, you can't disagree with those, I have to say. And before the tournament, I thought Casper Ruud was going to have a bit of a run here, and that didn't last very long, did it? So for me, for this category, I think he came up at Wimbledon in our reflections, but João Fonseca, he's perennially disappointed me this year. He's been lauded
Kim,
as,
you have got beef with João Fonseca.
What has he done to you? Have you ever seen him play?
I have, yeah. I saw a quite disappointing match against Fernley at Wimbledon, and he just, from what people have been saying, he's been lauded as his prospect, but here he lost in the second round to Mačák and didn't really seem to make much impact there. And I just thought, if you're going to break through, like, I know everyone breaks through at different times and ages, but I just think we would have seen a big run at a slam or somewhere deep, already. And I'm just questioning if that's ever going to happen. So I think I need to slide him down my ones to watch and just remove him entirely. And then maybe he will put it together next year.
You're not predicting he's going to be a Rafa just yet.
Kim, he's saving it for the Laver Cup.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Is he
that's
playing
imminently
the Laver Cup?
upon us, isn't it?
I think so. I'm pretty sure he is.
Great.
We
look
Well,
forward
that
to
might
seeing
be
that.
the pivot that he needs in his career then. There we go. What about you though, Joel? Who did you put for most room for improvement?
Well,
you love this category, Joel. You always have a lot to
do.
say on this one.
I think it's quite telling that there's quite a few male players that are in this category. You've mentioned Ruud and Rune. I've got Daniel Medvedev and Stefanos Tsitsipas.
Yes.
True.
For too long, we have talked about these players and Slam's just not delivering. And for Daniel Medvedev, it's probably reached rock bottom. The fact that he had that big meltdown on court. He's now parted ways with his long-term coach. So, it really is. There's no way but up here, I think, for Medvedev. And I think Tsitsipas in a similar position. I've also got a slightly jokey one in the sense that Alexander Bublik's handshake game with Tommy Paul, we saw the pinky shake. He needs to improve that to a full handshake. Not just
one.
More
from him, like a chest bump,
not the little
a Brian
finger.
Brothers bump or
not
something.
Just the little finger, yeah.
Yeah, don't love that either.
No, I'll have to see if he carries on with that or if that was just a short phase. But moving on, next category is biggest surprise of the tournament. We've kind of alluded to some of them, perhaps, but yeah, who's been kind of surprising run from nowhere, maybe? Or overachieved perhaps compared to our expectations. I'm going to go first on this one. I'm going to say Felix Auger-Aliassime reaching the semi-finals. It's been a good few years since he was at the semi-final stage at the US Open and kind of up there in contention. And it was great to see him come through, have some big wins over like Zverev, and then actually challenge Jannik Sinner as well to some extent in that semi-final. So I think he's the one that has pleased me in terms of how he's performed throughout the tournament. Chris, any thoughts to add? Who have you gone for?
Well, I have actually sort of shifted my thinking because we have kind of already gone quite hard on Nissimova and how much of a, upset it was, a surprise it was.
Nissimova could be in like every category.
She could be. I guess also most room for improvements. In some ways, you could say that there is so much that she can improve while still being so good. But we've already done that category. I would have said Nissimova, but I'm actually saying my biggest surprise was that JPEG lost a set, losing just 4 points on her serve, and she lost it 6-4. That is actually one of the most surprising statistics I've ever seen in a match. That wasn't
what
like
match
a
was that in?
Which match was that?
Chris,
that was
remind
against
us.
Sabalenka in the semi-finals in the third and final set, and she actually posted a picture of herself, like commenting on the fact when you lose 4 sets in the third and 4 points in the third set and you still lose, and it was her drinking a honey juice to try and get over it. She had a Carlsberg, now it's the honey juice that's sort of easing the pain of that one, but that is a surprising result really when you look at the numbers.
Yeah, that's very unlucky for it to be in a slam semi as well. And yeah, very peculiar. The peculiarities of the tennis scoring system. Joel, who is your biggest surprise from the US Open?
You better say who I think, Joel.
Well,
Otherwise, I'll be very annoyed.
It's got to be Adrian Manarino.
Well, hey.
You know,
Your big shout for the tournament.
It just all clicked this tournament.
Vindicated prediction.
No,
Joel.
I remember my prediction before the tournament. Oh yeah, he's gonna get to the third round and he's gonna push Shelton, but he's gonna go out. He's gonna go out valiantly. Did that happen? No, he beat Ben Shelton, or at least Ben Shelton retired, and Manarino moved on to round 4. So I've got to give Manarino some props there. I've also got Djokovic reaching 4 Grand Slam semi-finals in a season. I think that was not something I was necessarily expecting, but perhaps an even bigger surprise is just how sadly not competitive he has been in quite a few of those semi-finals. Not been able to
is this back in your most room for improvement section, Joel?
Maybe, yeah.
You putting Djokovic in that category?
Djokovic in semi-finals at Grand Slams, yeah, maybe. But also I've got Sabalenka not losing to an American this time in the final.
Not losing to anyone.
Against Anisimova, exactly. The curse of the Americans.
It's over.
You know, there was a lot on the line against Anisimova, and she did not let the curse strike her.
Lovely. Yeah, love all of those. Yeah, and very much agree. And Manarino, what can he do from here? Very excited to see.
The French number 1 is coming.
He'll be back. You name it. You just wait and see.
Playing into his 40s, maybe, yeah.
Absolutely. Our final reflection from the tournament, before we get onto our personal peak, pit and pleasant surprise, who do you think is the one to watch for, say, Australian Open 2026? Out of what we've seen from the US Open, who are you going to go for? Chris, going to come to you first.
I've gone for some obvious answers, but also some not so obvious answers. I'll probably go with my first one because it's the most random. I think Arthur Rinderknech. I'm expecting some things from him because he actually has this weird streak where the people that he does tend to either like push or do well against are the top players. He's actually one of the only players to have some really competitive matches or competitive sets with Alcaraz and Sinner at the Slams. He also took out Zverev, and he's been playing, you know, pretty well. So I feel like a new career high could be coming for him, because I'm not only favouring those top players in the top 10. We are equal opportunities here, just like our Manarino shout out and Susan Lemons. But Denis Shapovalov also, I think lots of good signs in that Sinner match. Hopefully he can kind of do something a bit more at the Slams. Something's brewing. And obviously Osaka, because a Slam is coming. I know it is. I've told Joel that already, Kim. You may not have heard that yet, but it's coming next year.
Yeah, well, she did say. Oh, I was surprised that she didn't go all the way here, given her record. But you know, some things have to end. But yeah, fantastic from her. I went for Ayala, who didn't have the best tournament here. Went out in the second round to Christina Buchser, but did have that very dramatic first round win against Clara Townsend, which again probably could have been up there for one of the best matches. And I just feel like it's going to click together, and she will go on a bit of a run, I think, at a Slam in the near future. And why not the Australian Open? I mean, incidentally, today, Ayala has won her first WTA title, the Guadalajara 125 Open. So, you know, clearly she's already embarking on that journey, beating Pana Edvardi in the final in Guadalajara. I know. I thought you all would love to know
Kim,
that.
you are stretching the definition of WTA title with
Kim,
this.
yeah, did they both have a wild card for the WTA 500 in Guadalajara that starts on Monday? Hopefully.
Yes, I don't know actually. I need to go and fact check that before I make statements.
Well, maybe Ayala will win the title again.
125 to 500 in the space of a week. Let's see. But yeah, AO 2026. Watch this space. Joel, what about you? Who do you think we need to watch out for next year?
I've got one name only. Andrei Rublev. Chris, I'll give you some kudos because you called out Rublev.
He didn't do anything though, did he?
He did well though. I think he did well. I was a bit surprised. Admittedly, he lost in straight sets to Felix Auger-Aliassime, but he's had a bit of a rough stretch, I think, at Grand Slams of late, and I think he can build on this. You know, semi-success, let's say, he's had at the US Open, at the Australian Open. I did just check his record. He's reached the quarters at the Australian Open 3 times already. So it's a good hunting ground for him. So, yeah, I think Rublev is going to be one to watch in Melbourne.
Well, watch this space. Listeners, let us know, what do you think to all of that? Do you think we're completely barking up the wrong tree, or do you agree? And we're going to now move on to our peak, pit, and pleasant surprise, which is kind of more of a personal, I guess, likes and dislikes from the last 2 weeks. So let's have a look at what we've got to say for this one. Okay, going to start with peak. So our top moments, highlights from the fortnight. Chris, what would you say for this one, your peak from the US Open 2025?
Well, I mean, it feels like it happened months ago, but I'm going to have to go with the mixed doubles champions being Vavasori and Irani, and kind of,
Oh, that's a great one.
I just felt like that was a real peak
Forgot
for,
about that.
I mean, it happened so long ago, doubles players everywhere, but also the fact that of all the people in that contest, all the star power, you know, your mixed doubles specialist, toughs it out, they won it, they did it for all the doubles players. And I just thought that that was like one of those things which we probably should be giving more credit to them. It just felt like because of the exhibition nature, we just kind of brushed that under the carpet. We announced it in our preview, but I do think, I mean, that was a real peak because it did just show mixed doubles is a discipline that deserves to exist, even though the format people quite enjoyed.
Justice for mixed doubles, absolutely. And we'll all be on tenterhooks to see what's going to happen next time, this tournament next year. Joel, what about you? Your peak of the tournament?
Well, it's been a common talking point, I think, through the episode, but it's got to be Krejčíková saving 8 match points against Taylor Townsend. I mean, I feel like at times she's so underappreciated as a multiple singles Grand Slam champion. And to see what she did against Townsend, I mean, I just loved the fearlessness of what she did on the tennis court. So I'm going to have to give Barbora Krejčíková big props there. Another peak moment I had from a personal point of view, it was basically just finding out what Labubus are from Chris and Naomi Osaka.
You did call them like a Furby, did you?
They're like the modern
posh
Furby.
Furbies.
Yeah, maybe it's like a posh Furby. And then I actually Googled Furby after that, Joel, and Furbies were crazy looking, like really crazy looking.
The eyes still
quite
give me
scary.
nightmares,
Yeah,
actually.
exactly.
I was never a fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we found out what the latest craze is. Yeah, we're a bit slow to the party, I think, to some of those. We need tennis to keep us up to date. I've gone as my peak. I know this is a bit shallow, maybe, but I really liked Carlos Alcaraz's outfit.
Pretty
I
in
thought
pink.
the color combo was spot on. The aubergine kind of shoes and shorts, the pink top, just lovely color combination from Nike there. And yeah, one of the best outfits I've seen in years. So fashion fave from me.
That's actually very big. You kept that hidden from us. You haven't mentioned it once during this entire tournament.
I've just been admiring it instead. I mean, less so the hair, but we'll get onto that in a bit maybe. But the outfit made up for it. What about our pits though? Like negative moments, unhappy moments. Chris, what's yours?
Well, your peak may be Krejčíková saving 8 match points, Joel, but I loved the drama of that match. But then I just was left with that sort of visual of Taylor Townsend so upset by the fact she missed such a big opportunity. And that really is tough when you think about it. The idea that you had this breakthrough moment, it was on your racket, and you just missed it. And that is, that's devastating. But thankfully, she rebounded. She's a very positive person. But you don't really want to see 8 match points go awry for someone who is, really kind of deserving of going a bit further.
Yeah,
Do you think Townsend is one to watch also for the Australian Open?
I think it's tricky. She's very empowered and very driven by the home audience and the home fans. Her ranking was pretty low on singles coming into this. So doubles, definitely. Singles, it'll be interesting to see how she can balance it because she's in that tricky situation where her singles ranking doesn't get her into all the tournaments where she could play doubles. But hopefully with some of the points she's got here, she actually has a chance to maybe even out that and reach her sort of singles ranking potential.
Yes, I would agree. Joel, what about you? What's been your pit moment?
Oh, I've got a couple. The most recent one is just Donald Trump at
Oh,
the US Open men's final and the delays it caused for the men's final. That just should not happen. I'm not putting actually any disrespect to Donald Trump here, but the organization of this just should have been handled way better than it was because
Well, we
it
knew he was
delayed.
coming, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly.
they
Everyone
knew
he was
since I think
coming.
Friday before. Yeah.
So, there should have been at least some sort of warning to fans or, maybe get everyone in a little bit earlier. Did that happen? No. And, ultimately affected the start time by, quite a considerable gap. And that is not easy for the players to contend with. So
One
I'm
for the
going to
record
say
books, do you think? Has that ever happened before that a final's been delayed over something like this? Probably not.
it's sort of been sort of got upstaged a little bit in the build up, which
By the
again,
Orange Man.
Yes, yes. So I'm going to say the Donald Trump delay, as well as the just the saga of Jelena Ostapenko versus Taylor Townsend and the comments, the Instagram stories, the deleted Instagram stories. It just wasn't a good. It just wasn't good.
Messy.
It was messy. It was very messy. The only positive I can bring out of it is the fact that I feel like it did inspire and motivate Townsend, but at the same time for Ostapenko, these were just not nice words, and they just had no place on the tennis court.
Yeah, that was definitely one to forget. I think I would add to the pit with the hat being stolen from the child after
Forgot
Kamil
about that.
Vajarak's
News story.
match.
Polish
Yes.
CEO. That's
Yeah, that went
how
a
it's
bit
known
viral,
as, yeah.
didn't it?
That
So
went crazy. Honestly, my friends who didn't even speak to me about the tennis, they were like, "Hey, Joel, what do you make of the man who stole that kid's hat?"
People thanked
like a
me
kid's
for
book,
covering
doesn't
it.
it?
They were like, "Thank you for shining a light on the bad behavior of people." And I'm like, "What are we talking about?"
Oh
I mean,
dear.
that was a wild story, Kim.
It was, and definitely didn't do his reputation any favor. I can't remember the name of the bloke now, but he has issued a public apology. But yeah, we'll see. Let's hope that all the tennis fans behave going forwards, or CEOs
We're
behave, I should
watching
say.
you, right?
We
We're
are
always
watching you.
watching.
Yes, I also thought a negative was Kvitova's retirement match. I thought that was one to forget.
God, that was
And
bad.
also Caroline Garcia. I mean,
Oh.
she did better than Kvitova, but
Yeah.
it's sort of a bit of a
Petered out.
lackluster finish to one's career. So I think both of those were quite bad, really, for want of a better word. Jack Draper as well, pulling out of injury. That was, he might as well have not
Oh yes,
bothered playing
Joel.
it. But
He was beating Yannick Sinner, wasn't he? Remember?
yeah, that finalist in your prediction.
One
finalist.
to watch.
One
One
to
to watch in
watch.
Australia.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're not doing that again,
but
are
no,
you, Joel?
we wish him well. Let's hope he makes a recovery and takes the time that he does need to recover. But no, let's end on a more positive note with our pleasant surprise now. Chris, what about you? I'm going to come to you.
I feel like
Pleasant
mine might be a
surprise.
bit naughty because it's kind of a little bit of a backhanded compliment, but I'm going to say how quickly Carlos Alcaraz's hair grows.
Yes, it has regained some of its
Height, volume.
height. Yeah, volume. I was trying to
It
think
was
of a
quite
hair
a
word there.
shocking,
Lack of skinhead.
Yes, I do like him with a bit more hair on his head. I think that's true for most people who are able to have hair on their head. It was quite dramatic, and I think kind of we was hard launched as well because it went from full sort of Carlos Alcaraz hair to being gone, and I'm pleased that over the 2 weeks, it did mean that in the final he did have the correct hair for the occasion.
Yes, it was much better, wasn't it? And complimenting his outfit every round as it went on better and better.
This is a Carlos Alcaraz outfit and style podcast.
Well, we can always rebrand. Joel, what about yourself? Your pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I've got a couple here on both on the court. Naomi Osaka just have had a fantastic couple of weeks out in New York. To think, several weeks ago, I thought, she was thinking about retirement, or was there any way back, and was she ever gonna find her best form again? And it really does feel like just dropping Patrick Muratoglu really did kickstart her form. So I'm really, really happy for her. I'm also really happy in terms of another pleasant surprise for Venus Williams, because I was not expecting her run with Leylah Fernandez into the doubles quarterfinals. So yeah, very impressed with that. I mean,
And the singles,
anytime.
Joel, right, for Venus? She took a set of Mukova.
Yeah, okay,
Decent.
okay. Small surprise there, I think. Well, actually,
Okay.
I mean, Mukova did pretty well this tournament, actually, to be
Yeah.
fair. So the more I
Yeah,
think about it, actually,
quarterfinalist.
probably Venus Williams just generally stepping on the singles and doubles court and still showing that she is a force to be reckoned with, let's say.
She is indeed.
Despite her how old I can't,
45.
45.
wow,
They
incredible.
chorused. Right, Kim, bring us home with your pleasant
Right.
surprise. You have
Gonna
the honor.
finish, on a relevant
Better be
note.
good.
Already been mentioned, I think, today. That's Jaume Munar of Mallorca, reaching the fourth round,
Was he in this tournament, Kim?
which
You never mention him.
was fantastic. Beating Diallo, who is I think a prospect. And fourth round, he was, outclassed by Musetti, but I think, building on that third round at Wimbledon, reaching the fourth here. Oh, possibly he could be one to watch in Australia as well.
I mean,
But yeah, Jaume Munar, pleasant surprise. There we go.
Kim, I've got to hold you to account here because he won 4 games against Musetti.
Yes, he was. I did say he was outclassed. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, 4 games. He got bageled in one of them, but he did make the 4th round. You can't take that away from him.
He did exactly. And what a jolly good end to a tournament. There we go.
Indeed. Listeners, let us know, what were your peak hit and pleasant surprises of the US Open? Also, do let us know, what was your favourite match, biggest upset? Who do you think has the most room for improvement? And who are your ones to watch for the Australian Open 2026? We would love to hear, but we're going to wrap up our US Open wrap-up show here at Tennis Weekly HQ. We hope you've enjoyed the ride with us once more. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss a moment of action as we move back onto the ATP and WTA tours and head towards the Asian swing and the last part of the year. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and all your favorite podcasting platforms out there.
And if you love what you're hearing, then be sure to leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube.
And you can stay connected with us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X and Threads, and the handle for all of those is Tennis Weekly Pod. And if you'd like to follow us, you might see us in some tournaments in the autumn. I hear, Joel, Mets might be on the cards.
Yes, listeners, more on that to come. Maybe
I might be
for
in Stockholm as well. So
yeah.
Are you going to find Susan Lamon somewhere? You need to go to a WTA.
She's unlikely to be at the ATP 250. So, Joel, you need to think again. Kim can go to Mets. You can go somewhere else.
I'd love to get to a naughty WTA 125 at some point. That'd be something on the bucket list.
Wow. Okay. Well, if you'd like to drop Joel a mailbag about Susan Lemons, then please do at tennisweeklypod@gmail.com or visit our website, tennisweekly.co.uk.
Right. We're going to end our US Open coverage there. We will be back next time, back into tour catch-up mode. Not quite sure when that's going to be yet, but we will be back. We will be back in tour catch-up mode very, very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from Kim.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Chris.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time on Tennis Weekly.